Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you Umar for requesting this topic that is called soft versus hard HRM. मैं ऐसा करूंगा कि I will be explaining you the difference between the soft and the hard on the various parameters और उससे ये पूरा का पूरा topic आपको clear हो जाएगा. So let's take up. So what are the points of differences we'll be taking up? The first point of difference we'll be taking up is called employee treatment. The second is based on focus. The third difference will be based on communication. Fourth one will be based on employees empowerment. Fifth one will be based on pay structure. Sixth will be based on link with corporate planning. Seventh one will be based on organizational structure. Eighth will be based on leadership style, and ninth will be based on appraisal system. So we'll be taking up 9 differences between hard HRM and the soft HRM. So let's begin with the first one, and that is called employee treatment. So what is this employee treatment? That how do organization treat employees? So whether they have a harder approach or whether there's a softer approach. So basically these are approaches of HRM, right? Human resource management को आप कैसे देखते हैं, कैसे approach करते हैं, that is called this soft versus hard. So in the hard organization, where the organization practices are very hard in terms of organization, in terms of human resource management, then what will happen? They will treat their simply as a resource of business, just like machinery and building. That means most of the organization who are practicing this hard HRM, they will only treat employee as a resource. They will only treat them, it is just like machinery, just like anything, building, any fixed asset. On the other side, any organization which has a softer approach, they will treat their employees as a resource in the business, as a source of competitive advantage. In both the places, employee is a resource, right? We know this. That's why it is called human resource management. But the difference here is that here it is taken as a fixed asset. On the other side, here it is taken as a competitive advantage. That means the companies believe that these people, these employees will help you in achieving better than what your competitors are doing, right? So this is the difference between soft and hard in terms of employee treatment. Let's take up the second difference, and that difference is based on the focus. So the companies which has harder HRM approach, their focus is on identifying the workforce need for the business and then recruit and manage them accordingly. Hire, moving and firing. That means they basically believe in their task. They need people for the task, and when the task is over, they will fire the people. Very simple. That means मेरे को उन लोगों की जरूरत है जो मेरे काम को पूरा कर दें. एक बार मेरा काम पूरा हो जाएगा, then मैं उन लोगों को मैं निकाल दूंगा. On the other side, the softer HRM has a different approach. They concentrate on the needs of the employees, their role, their reward and motivation. अब यहाँ पर complete difference देखने को मिलता है. On one side, in the harder HRM, task is the focus. Whereas in the softer HRM, it is the employee's need that is taken into consideration. You believe that employees have sentiments, their needs are important, they must be rewarded, they must be motivated, and ultimately the task will be achieved. Because if the employees are doing their job really well, the task will be achieved. There is no doubt about it, right? That was the second difference. Let's talk about the third difference, and that is based on communication. So how the communication works in hard HRM? It is the minimal communication from top to down. That means from top management, the people instruct their employees, and employees has nothing to do with participation. They have to follow the rules. On the other side, when we talk about soft HRM, there we have two-way communication. That means the employee can also participate in the decision making. They can also give their opinion. They can also suggest ideas to the top management, and that will help the top management to take decision in a better way. So that is the approach. In one side, we have one-way communication, that is top to down. On the other side, soft HRM has two-way communication. That means from top to down as well and from down to up as well. Let's talk about the fourth difference, and that is the difference called as employee empowerment or delegation. So that means in the harder HRM, obviously it's a harder HRM. That means the employees have very little empowerment or delegation. They have very little empowerment, and when we talk about empowerment, means with the power of taking decisions. That means कोई भी डिसीजन आप बिना पूछे नहीं ले सकते. आपको वही डिसीजंस लेने पड़ेंगे जो टॉप मैनेजमेंट ने आपको लेने को कहा है. That means you have to be very, very sure about that what instructions have been given to you, and you have to follow them rather than applying your own mind. On the other side, when we talk about softer HRM, here the employees are very empowerment and they are encouraged to seek delegation and take responsibility. That means they are empowered. That means they are given certain powers to take decision at their own level. They can take responsibility of their work. They can delegate their work also. So that is what all about softer and harder HRM in terms of differences with respect to employee empowerment. Let's take up the next difference, and the next difference is called the pay structure. So how the pay structure is different in hard HRM and soft HRM. So in terms of hard HRM, enough to recruit and retain enough staff minimum wages. That means we work on minimum wages. We try to just retain people for the time being rather than looking for a long-term employment. On the other side, we have very competitive pay structure with suitable performance-based rewards, if in specifically profit sharing schemes also for employees in softer HRM. That means in soft HRM, you have a very competitive pay structure. That means if your competitors are paying well, the organization also starts paying you well. They also reward you based on your performance. They also provide you various incentives, various bonus, various fringe benefits. So because they want employees to stay with them for a longer term, because they believe that employees are the one who will provide them competitive advantage, as just I have explained in the last point. Let's talk about the next difference, and that is based on linked with corporate planning. So this is the point of difference. So what is the difference between hard and soft HRM in here? That strong link with corporate business planning. What resource do we need? How so we get them, and how much will they cost? Very simple approach. The approach is employees को अगर recruit करना है, सबसे पहले उनकी cost देखें, because we want to reduce our cost. As soon as our cost will be reduced, the profitability will rise, and that profitability will be given to the customers. That means employees से deduct करें, customer को benefit दें. That is what the approach of harder HRM is. On the other side, employees in the softer HRM are treated as individuals and their needs are planned accordingly. That means आप यहाँ पर उसको mass people की तरह नहीं देखते, आप individuals को treat करते हैं. You take individuals, their need, their role, their identity are completely different, and that's why their career are planned in the softer HRM rather than only looking them as a resource which act more like a fixed asset. Let's talk about the next difference, and that difference is called based on organizational structure. So what is the structure? So in the structure we have taller organization structure. Taller means organization has something like this. That means you have lesser number of people at each level. On the other side, when we have flatter organizations like this one, we have more number of people. More importantly, when we have flatter organization, that means most of the people are at equal level, and that's why they can talk to each other and they can contribute to the organization. Whereas in the taller organization, obviously we have an hierarchical structure, and that hierarchical structure that always works on a simple principle. That means instruction has been given to you. You have to follow the instruction rather than applying your own mind. Let's talk about the next difference, and the difference is called as leadership style. So what is the leadership style of harder HRM? Obviously you have autocratic leadership style. Autocratic leadership style क्या होता है वो मैंने काफी बार leadership style के वीडियोस में भी आपको समझाया है. That means the leader here is like a task master. वो आपको order देता है और आपको order को follow करना है, because task is important rather than your feelings, rather than your identity as well. On the other side, on this one we have democratic leadership style, because we believe in participation in terms of decision making, and also employees contribute in the success of the organization rather than only following the rules, only following the guidance given by the leader. The next difference is called as appraisal system. In the harder HRM, it is focused on making judgment good or bad about stuff. So basically in hard HRM आप सिर्फ ये decide करते हैं कि कौन अच्छा है और कौन बुरा है. अगर कोई अच्छा है तो you reward them. On the other side, if somebody is not good, you don't reward them, you in fact punish them. On the other side, in the softer HRM, what we do, we identify and address the training and development needs. That means यहाँ पर आप good और bad में categorize नहीं करते. In fact, what you do, if somebody is doing good, that's great. But if somebody is not doing good, what you try to do, you understand the reasons, you provide them training, you provide them whatever they need, whatever resources they need, whatever their issues are that are resolved, so that they can work in a proficient manner in the organization. So that is what all about difference between harder and softer HRM. I hope it is clear. Thanks for watching. If you really like my channel, do subscribe to my channel, like and share with other students, so that everybody gets benefited, because knowledge must be shared. So thank you. We'll be meeting in the next session very soon.